Welcome to the Liberal Buzz Show. Today, my guest is going to be BrentTurner. He has credentials that are very impressive. He's of navo-us.org is his website right here, and there's a lot to know about his movement and to make elections more transparent with the software being open source so people can actually see the actual vote counts and not what Microsoft wants us to think are the vote counts. So there we go. And they do it. It's proprietary software, which means it's secret, but it's hackable, you know. And the Department of Defense and NASA don't use Microsoft. They use open source. So there you go. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? So BrentTurner, he says, we the undersigned have deep concerns regarding our election system security. Scientific studies and technologists have concluded that private secret software operating the current systems to be unacceptably unprotected as to interference agents, foreign and domestic. And the solution of public systems referenced to AB 1784 must now be encouraged. The matching funds will be utilized towards best election system security practices. California has the opportunity to provide much-needed leadership and will hopefully do so. Thanks in advance for your attention to this matter. And it was signed by James Woolsey, the former director of the CIA. And Brian Fox, technologist, creator Bash Shell, BrentTurner, election reform analyst, and the Clean Money Campaign, Trent Lang of the Clean Money Campaign. So I'm just waiting for Brent to call in. If he doesn't remember, I can still give you a lot of information about this, but I think he will. We had a petition for the AB 1784. Oh, there he is. Okay, I'll put you on speaker, Brent.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I was just getting into Assembly Bill 1784 that's in the... I've got some notes about that, so that's where I am with what I'm telling the viewers now is about Bill 1784. And...
Perfect timing.
So that's the Secure the Vote Act. And... So that means this open source paper ballot for transparent elections. It's voter verified.
Yes. So to be clear, that's been turned into a 2-year bill. Right now, what our hope is that Mayor Breed in San Francisco will reiterate the city county's attention to this matter and will request the funds, the matching funds referenced in the legislation. The decision, we understand, is up to Governor Newsom. And if Governor Newsom deems it appropriate, he'll allocate $16 million, which seems like a very paltry sum, but it would be crucial in the effort to expedite the build-out of the country's first properly securable voting system.
Absolutely. So, because voters, we really don't have any confidence that our votes are being counted, are counted as cast. There's a way to track our votes?
It's interesting that the last election commission hearing, Commissioner Jordanek mentioned that he felt that voter confidence was pretty high after the last election, where we saw progressives elected, Dean Preston and the fellow running for the district attorney, were both elected, considered progressive, and that's fine and dandy. The unfortunate thing is that may put progressives to sleep on this issue of election security, because once they're celebrating the victory, they may forget about the issue. And so this is something that occurred in 2008 with the election of President Obama. A lot of people thought at that point, well, we had a tough time with Bush v. Gore in 2000, and we had a tough time with Bush v. Kerry in 2004, but now 2008 seems like the systems are working pretty good because we got Obama. Well, of course, we didn't go to sleep. We kept working straight through the Obama administration, understanding that even though it may have tendered a result considered good by many, it did not change the reality of the science that, in fact, the systems are deficient and cannot be secured due to their Microsoft platforms and secret software, proprietary software components. So we've been trudging forward, and San Francisco County is leading the nation in the effort. Unfortunately, after creating the political will and getting all the pieces in place, at the very final moment, the Department of Elections under John Arnst decided that it was not competent to conduct the project. So they punted the project over to the Department of Technology under Linda Jarrell, and now that's where we are. Not that Linda can't handle it, but we have noticed more red tape coming into the picture, and we need to make sure that this system, as proposed and as directed by the Board of Supervisors and everybody else in the county, that it moves forward and that we expedite, because if we don't do it, no one else will. And so San Francisco County has the duty to lead the state to a certified open source GPL paper ballot voting system that can then be replicated nationally. So that's the idea and why we're so upset right now with the Election Commission and with everyone, because we're just noting that there's a slowdown in the progress. Naturally, we're impatient as good patriots because we understand we have to secure these voting systems if we want to retain our democracy.
Well, the NASA and the Air Force and the Department of Defense understand that importance.
They do. They all utilize open source systems, and we're glad for that. Unfortunately, Microsoft and the vendors are not going to give up easily. They continue to control the conversation from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., right down to the county levels. And so we have noted that there is a direct, concerted effort in real time right now by Microsoft to shut down the San Francisco County project. So they've already been successful in shutting down our project in Travis City, Texas, in Travis County, Texas. And also they took the Los Angeles County project that we initiated about 10 years ago. They took that off track, and its end result was a system that was declared, interestingly, to be open source by the current Secretary of State, Padilla, but actually discovered to not be appropriately open source software. So we've seen these tricks before, and we're very protective of the San Francisco project to shepherd it through and make sure that it is a proper system certified by the state and available for replication nationally.
Well, we were supposed to set the standard, but now so this is dependent on the Department of Elections in San Francisco and the meeting we went to last night?
The Elections Commission is tasked with overseeing the Department of Elections. They can fire the head of the Department of Elections, John Ernst. John is a decent enough fellow, I guess. He runs a rather loose ship. He's probably not as bad as the fellow over in Contra Costa County who just got busted for manipulating funds in his accounts, Joe Samia.
I read about that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he just got busted for diddling with the funds. We're not saying John is like that, but we note he runs a loose ship, and we know he doesn't really know what's happening with the vote counts because there's no way for him to know. Only the vendors are privy to the software code, and of course they're not to be trusted, or we can't put our faith in them. So we need to discard these systems, obviously, immediately, and the only way to do that is to have these better systems built. The sooner we start building them, the sooner we'll complete a proper system, and so we're just chomping at the bit to get started.
Absolutely. So now, if we change the software codes and open source in San Francisco, right? We have to kick. What does the Department of Technology have to do with it? Because they actually run this show for they carry the BayVac channel as well, 29 and 76, but they have a lot to do with this, don't they?
I think you just went dark. I think you just went off the air. No, I'm kidding. The Department of Technology is tasked with overseeing the build out of this system. They can either do it in-house or they can outsource it. But the point is, we just need to get started. They're getting some very high bids regarding build out costs from folks that are historically predisposed to delay these kinds of projects. So it's not unusual for us to hear these puffed up bids regarding costs being shot at the Department of Technology. Our position is to inform the Department of Technology about the realities of the build-out, including the costs, and to make sure they're not being price gouged. We want to sheriff the project because we know, as the pioneers of this work, that once there's money on the table, the dark folks start circling the project to try to either pilfer the funds or derail it. And this is just more Microsoft manipulation of the environment. We need to be very clear on this, that the Silicon Valley business consortium, they don't want open source software getting the good publicity that solving the election system security crisis will provide. So they're willing to do pretty much anything to delay this work. We're hoping that we can inoculate the Department of Technology and the county against their shenanigans. But right now, the main thing is to get Mayor Breed at the ready and in conversation with Governor Newsom. If we can do that, the money will be allocated and the system can be expedited.
So the AB 1784 is providing the matching funds. That's what you're saying. The Secure the Vote Act?
That's correct. That's correct.
All right, and so the department now, if we let's see, AB 1784, that's been around since oh, I don't know, May. I went to a May 11th.
It was turned into a 2-year bill. We've already suffered delays. We feel like now is the time to get this accomplished. And so the good people of San Francisco should really be putting on their leadership pants on this one because, yes, San Francisco does have to provide the initial work here, but the whole country will benefit. And we all see the devastation that is occurring via a likely unelected president. So this is not just a service to others. We will also benefit from this work, and we need to lead on it. Currently, the election commissioners are challenged to uphold that leadership position, and we really need to support them to so that they stay courageous.
Yeah. Well, we have to keep reminding them. Let's see. I mean, we had Assemblymember David Chu, Senator Scott Wiener. I mean, they're Democrats that are. I guess this is a bipartisan issue mainly, as it should be. But you know, these aren't really liberals. The most liberal of Democrats to support this stuff. But how come nobody's talking about it like the presidential debates? They should be mentioning this. You know.
Well, we've attempted to insert the conversation into the arena, unsuccessfully so far. We've had many promises. Tom Steyer promised to do it, but didn't keep his promise, which makes eyebrows raise.
Oh.
We have had conversations with Kamala's camp. Tulsi Gabbard has hit around the edges on it and proposed a particular legislation, which is good. And Kamala has also been involved in legislative efforts that are little tiny steps. But if we're going to secure the voting systems in the United States, let's say by 2026, we need to start. We need to start right now, and make no mistake, the current systems are insecure against insider or outsider interference, and cannot be remedied by a simple paper ballot nor a simple audit. You must have open source software within the system to obtain a semblance of security. The proprietary systems cannot be made appropriately secure by the mere addendum of a ballot or an audit. Ballots and audits are good, but ballots are only as good as the software that is counting them, and obviously you have to have a publicly observable software to have a proper semblance of security.
So you're talking about security by obscurity as a failed concept. It's a In
the software world, you cannot hide the ball well enough to avoid the hackers. So the fact that it's open, uses the word open or a public software, is a bit counterintuitive. It does not actually give the hackers a head start to utilize open source software. It's necessary to achieve a proper level of security. This is per the Department of Defense and NASA, and they would never be caught dead using a Microsoft platform or vendor proprietary code. It just would not happen in mission critical circumstance, and we consider voting to be mission critical.
Well, you know, it's like using Netscape Navigator. People laugh about that too, you know, but Microsoft is sort of this, not much different, you know. Microsoft is the butt of a lot of jokes about when it comes to insecure software, you know, and how easily hackable it is.
Yes, and now they've bought GitHub, which is the posting site for open source projects. So, Microsoft is insidious. They recently obtained a $10 billion contract with the Pentagon. So they're a mighty foe in this arena to secure the vote count. Their lobbyist group, Verified Voting, continues to control this conversation on Capitol Hill. And we've had problems getting into not only Senator Feinstein, but Congresswoman Pelosi's office, because everybody takes money from Microsoft. The Democratic Party is funded heavily by Silicon Valley money. It's just a shame, but we can stand up. We can be brave and do the right thing here. And if we do so in San Francisco, the rest of the country, like I said, we can secure the elections by 2026. It seems like a long way off. I'm just being very realistic about it. We start now, then we'd only have 2 more presidential election cycles, and then we would have a properly functioning democracy in the United States. But right now, we're at a 1 or a 2 on a 1 to 10 scale for security. We need to bump up to an 8 or a 9 as quickly as possible.
And London Breed will have a lot to do with that, urging Gavin Newsom to cooperate.
Yes, indeed. So if anybody can get to London Breed, we put in calls. It's been, we're using every resource we can to, ring every alarm, and we'll see what happens here. It's a big moment for our democracy.
Okay, Brent. Well, we're out of time. I really thank you and for your all your work, the work you do. This is Brent Turner. Go to his website, navo-us.org, right here on the title here, and support his work. He's doing the most important work you can do besides get out there, and dodge, catch bullets in his teeth. So thank you, Brent.
Hey, thanks, Denise, for your attention to this over the years. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.
Show yourself. That is unnecessary, but never fear. I'll stay near you.
Just out to take a second of silence. Soldiers of the Secret War, rock and battle. Silence. Soldiers of the Secret War, rock and battle. Silence. Soldiers of the Secret War, rock and battle. Silence. Soldiers of the Secret War, rock and battle. Don't stop to take a second look to step into the line of fire. The creeping, tripping of the